The Suns 2025-2026 schedule, it's finally here, and I can't believe it. All 82 are must-win games. Psychos and sickos unite for a must-win edition of PHNX Suns, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by Circle K for the last time in this building, in this edition of Studio K, presented by Circle K. Of course, join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. I'm Eric Ruby. That's Gerald Bourget. We got Steven Prejean Gardner, and of course, the Juice Man, a.k.a. Freckled Mamba, a.k.a. Ayrton, behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen. We are breaking down everything you need to know about the schedule today. But speaking of you, you're the most important person here. All of you live in chat with us, watching on YouTube after the fact, listening on audio, and hello if you're watching us on TV. We're going to break down the schedule. We're going to react to Espo's conversation with Phoenix Mercury and Suns governor Matt Ishbia later today in this show and give our thoughts, if you even care. And the first things first, though, this is our last show, not just in Studio K here, but in this building. A lot has happened in this building over the years, and we're moving on and moving up. Literally, we're going from the 5th floor to the 19th floor of another building, but big times over at PHNX.
Yeah, a lot of happy memories in this building. We appreciate all of you that have been here with us since a couple of years ago when we first moved into this office. For those of you that have been here with us since the old office, which was ratty and not great, we are continuing to move up. We're very excited to show you guys the new digs next week, but tomorrow will be a remote show, and this is our last show in this office, so we hope that you've enjoyed watching us in this familiar surrounding and in the other studio over the last couple of years, but it's time to move on to bigger and better things, and we're excited. I got, a full season with my two new co-hosts this year, and we're really excited about the way we're going to be able to attack Suns coverage for you guys. So shout out to all the homies, all the former hosts that I've been lucky to do the show with, and shout out to my new co-hosts who are younger and hungry just like the Suns.
Easier to bully, right, Gerald?
Sure. Shut up, Eric.
Clip that. Steven, the new studio looks pretty dope. We got a good look at it. And we're gonna be sitting pretty close to each other, maybe thighs touching a little bit, something like that.
Harrison, do you have the pause emoji handy by any chance? Figure it out. Okay. And when you get a chance, just put it over Eric's face, please.
Cutesy legs.
See, I was gonna do a whole moving on up to the east side, and then you just had to
what?
Be you.
You love me.
You just had to be you.
You love me and you know it.
Talking about thighs touching.
You love me and you know it. I'm just gonna let that sit there.
Just a big pause.
Listen,
there you go.
We're gonna be comfy, comfy in the new studio. Listen, I can dodge this. You can't stop me.
You can't pause the talking tortilla.
No, you can't pause the talking tortilla. You can't pause PHNX Suns. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button.
Facts.
5-star reviews go a long way. Let's just dive into the Phoenix Suns.
You need to put that on the shirt, so
that's never going away.
No.
It's never going away. No, but legitimately, it's really exciting times, and it's just going to make it easier for us to bring you the coverage that you deserve. New team for the Suns, new studio for PHNX Suns, and a brand new slate of games. Let's go ahead and just take an overarching view of the Suns season at a glance, Gerald. Here are just some of the things that fans should keep their eyes out for as we prepare for October.
Yeah, if you're looking at the schedule, Suns have 16 back-to-backs. That is tied for the most in the NBA with like 4 or 5 teams, I feel like. The Sixers, Hawks, Hornets, and Wizards maybe were the ones that they're tied with. They've got 9 nationally televised games, so a little bit of a step down from last year. Season opener, obviously, we knew this already, but October 22nd at home against the Sacramento Kings. Bradley Beal's return to Phoenix, his first game back with the Clippers, will be November 6th. And then a few weeks later, Kevin Durant returning with the Rockets to Phoenix for the first time, November 24th. The Suns do play on New Year's Eve at Cleveland. That's a rough one. But thankfully, if you are one of those people like us that has to work these games, it's a day game. So we don't have to be right up against the ball dropping like we have a couple of years past. The Suns don't really have a lot of other holiday games this year. They're not playing on MLK Day. They're not playing on like Valentine's Day like they have in the past. No Christmas game, obviously. They do have a Halloween game, but that's an NBA Cup game. So yeah, those are kind of the key dates that stand out. But I want to kick it to you guys. First off, let's do Beal first and then KD. How is Bradley Beal going to be received in his first game back? Is it just boos at the start, or is it boos every time he touches the ball?
Yes. 1,000%. I couldn't agree more. I imagine it's going to be just that. Yeah, it's not going to be the most welcome, but I think he's going to embrace that, and he probably has one of his better games of the season his first time coming back to Phoenix. Mm-hmm. And probably he's going to be looking around to see where all of the powers that be are for that game. So that would be a rather vengeful one, and I mean, understandably so for Bradley Beal. Mm-hmm. So you just got to chalk that one up for what it's going to be. If the Suns can somehow find a way to win it, they'll be okay. But he's probably going to have a very good game that night. For your bettors, go ahead and circle that one on your calendar.
If he
probably
plays.
a season high in shots at least.
You heard me.
That's what I was going to say,
Yeah, I hear you.
Here's the thing. You asked, is he going to get booed every time he touched the ball? Yeah. I'm going to ask, is he going to be touching the ball because he's going to be on the court? It's early enough in the season, and we'll go month by month in the schedule. I don't know why the Suns always have to play the Clippers like 3 times in 2 weeks. I don't know why we're doing this, but they are getting it out of the way early. If he doesn't play, he's still going to get booed. We have people booing him in the chat right now.
Dude,
and I know he's he might have a good game. He certainly might. He'll be motivated to, unless they ask him to be Drew Holiday, and then he'll throw a fit and won't play. So
thankfully they got their own rendition of that. So I highly doubt it, but it wouldn't even hit the same if it came from Tyler. I'm not gonna hold you.
That's fair.
Yeah. Not gonna.
What do you think, Gerald? You'll be there.
Yeah, I will. I think they'll probably boo him at the start. I think they'll probably boo him when he touches the ball, but we'll see what kind of crowd we have. Honestly, like the Suns were weirdly good against the Clippers last year, despite the Clippers being a better team. I don't know if that carries over when you don't have a Kevin Durant anymore into this year, and now that the Clippers are a lot better. But I hope that the Suns get that one. That would be a good one to win if you're going to steal 1 or 2 off the Clippers.
Would you rather punk Brad and the Clippers in his return, or would you rather punk KD and the Rockets in his return on Monday, November 24th?
Oh, man, it's probably Beal, and I think a lot of people would answer Beal. I think Kevin Durant, there is still a sizable contingent of people here that didn't want to trade KD, that understood why they had to, but were sad to see him go. I think there's plenty of people that wanted him gone and are happy that he's gone. But for me, I think with Beal, there's going to be a lot more animosity just because of how much he was getting paid and how little his contributions were in terms of staying healthy. With Kevin Durant, hopefully there's a little bit of a mutual respect there because individually KD did ball out during his time there. I think Suns fans will want to be both, though, obviously. I think that goes without saying. But I think it's going to be more animosity towards Beal than there will be for KD.
Yeah, and understandably so. I imagine it goes that way as well. People would rather beat the Clippers than the Rockets for who's where.
I don't know. I think if he didn't go out there and just completely take a large steaming crap on the fan base on his way out, that would probably be the case. Obviously, Bradley Beal had the peace sign, but KD is still actively torn down the fan base since he's left. And I think the Rockets are a bigger threat. And I think, people, as much as they're not happy about Brad Beal, they're both going to get booed for sure. I feel like people want to beat KD, right? Because the thing is, it's the Clippers and it's Brad. And I think because there is more respect for KD, and I think because there will be more respect for Houston, if you had to pick one to get one over on, you probably want it to be KD and the Rockets so that it's like, hey, we beat the better team. we don't like how that ended. He was crapping on the fan base on the way out. Like, I feel like that might be one that people would want more than the, hey, yeah, the Clippers have been winning for the last decade plus, but they're still the Clippers, and it's like beating Bradley Beal. Well, we saw a bunch of teams do that last year. Like, is that really that special?
Are we talking about the fan base or the team itself?
Fan base.
I think it'll be more of an accomplishment if you beat the Rockets compared to the Clippers, obviously. But I think there's going to be more animosity individually directed towards Beal than there will be towards Kevin Durant.
Well, then are you talking about the team then? Who do you think the team gets up more for? Do you think it's Houston then?
I think it's KD and the Rockets. Even taking the fact that like Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks are going to feel some type of way going into that game, I think there'll be more of a competitive fire for like a book even. Because even though that's his brother and he, didn't want him to go, they love competing against friends more so than enemies, almost, guys like that. So I think the team will get up more for the Rockets game. I think the fan base in terms of booing and anger, it's going to be more so for the Clippers.
That's it.
Any final thoughts on that?
Nah, I'm not diving too much more into
Mm-hmm.
it.
Are those must-win games? If you know, you know. Okay. Some other key dates for the Suns, Gerald. Of course, they will be involved in the NBA Cup or the Emirates NBA Cup as well. When do fans need to keep a lookout for that?
Yeah. Do we have those dates pulled up anywhere? I can't remember. I know that one of them is on Halloween against the Jazz. And I know that they released the NBA Cup schedule last week. I feel like they got
a couple days ago. It might have been last week. Okay, so 10/31 Halloween, against the Jazz at home, and then November 21st, so almost a month later, taking on the Timberwolves at home, and then 5 days later against the Kings on the road, and then 11/28, November 28th. At the Thunder. So Jazz, Timberwolves, Kings, Thunder, and then of course those are the qualifying games, and then there will be a week in December where they're going to add a couple of games to the schedule depending on where they stand in the NBA Cup. How do we feel about their draw for the Emirates NBA Cup?
I mean, they have the best team in the West, and they have a borderline contender in the Timberwolves, and then they have two very beatable teams with the Jazz and the Kings. I would say 2-2. I don't think they'll be in the NBA Cup again this year.
No.
Which is a bummer. I'm legitimately bummed.
I know you're
and
big.
Screw everybody who doesn't care about the NBA Cup.
You're a big
Get
NBA
on
Cup
board.
guy.
It matters. It's fun. I will not hear otherwise.
Through those 4 games, Steven, 2-2, 4-0. What are you feeling?
Not 4-0. I think 2-2 makes the most sense, knowing at least presumably in what we've seen from what Jordan and how he kind of goes about. I imagine they're looking at 3-1 as the goal.
Mm-hmm.
How
The
much
one
of a
being
reach is
OKC.
that all depends on how well they get out the gates to the season and the way those pieces mesh together. But I think 2-2 is the most realistic.
Are we bummed or disappointed? I know from a personal level, we want, holidays with our families as any normal person would. Are we a little bummed or disappointed that they're not getting the nod except for on New Year's Eve? And even then it's an earlier day, or does it just feel like, duh, right?
Yeah, kind of the latter for me. Like I do, there is something special about covering the NBA on some of these special holidays, like especially Christmas. Like we had gone like a decade or so without a Christmas game, and then we got 4 in a row. It was kind of a bummer. They went like 1-3.
And the one was the first one, and then it was 3 straight losses.
Yeah, so that was kind of a bummer. But I do. There is a certain level of prestige when your team is playing on Christmas, of being able to say like, yeah, my team is one of those 8 or 10, however many teams that gets to play on these special holidays. For me personally, though, like covering the last 4 Christmases was kind of rough.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have that day off where you get to just watch basketball and not have to have, your brain on and work. And I think a lot of Suns fans are kind of relieved to have a break from the Suns' Christmas agony as well.
Let's predict it, Steven. When's the next time the Suns play on Christmas? Over under 3.5 years.
I would take the over.
Ooh.
I mean, it took a decade before that?
It
but
did.
Some of the worst eras of Suns basketball that we've ever seen.
Right. 3.5 years.
Good line, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Courtesy of our friends over at Bet365.
Great line. I'll probably...
Nicest thing you said to me all week.
I know. Dummy. I'm just gonna start throwing random insults.
Oh no! I mean, I'm
breath
basically just asking for it.
Yeah, you're kind of like bring it on. I'll be optimistic and take the under. I think realistically, it's probably the over, but I do think this front office, with as aggressive as they are, with Book being able to attract stars, like you don't even have to necessarily be good if you just attract like one more superstar. Devin Booker and that other face could be enough to get you back in Christmas contention.
All they have to do is think that you're good in August. That's it.
Pretty much.
I feel like some of the things in play though.
Mm-hmm.
One, obviously the Suns have to be viable, but they either have to have another star level player that's gonna get a certain type of attention or draw, or they have to have some version of rivalry with someone.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if either of those two surface while they're retooling. They might be good enough to be a playoff team, but I don't know if that results in them getting a Christmas game in the next 3.5 years.
If Dylan Brooks is watching this, he's at home with a little checkbox saying "establish rival."
He said that'll be easy. It was November 4th.
He's like, I actually already have a list. And it's
funny you mentioned that. Right?
He's a rival, huh?
It's the whole league and half the G League.
I think there's a chance. There's a chance. I would probably take the over 3.5 years as well, because you have to earn kind of that respect, and I think it'll take a couple years for the Suns to feel that way. I mean, Elko82 in the chat says Luka versus Book, Suns, Lakers. You know, if that maybe becomes a little bit more poignant over the next couple of years, and maybe it doesn't take a trade for another star. Maybe it is like, hey, come on, Malawach is a top 10 pick, and maybe he comes on into his own, or maybe it is Jalen Green, right? Or maybe it's both of them. And it's like, okay, the Suns are this young, fun, hungry team and that are well coached, and all the things that we say like could break right for the Suns, even if we don't think all of that will happen at once. If that slowly accumulates over the next 2 to 3 years, maybe 3 Christmases from now, 4 Christmases from now, they get like a nod as like the 8 p.m. start against like the Lakers or something.
I think 3 would be like right on the money is where it might wind up being. For me, hopefully.
Well, that's 3 years from now. What about this season? So we've talked about, the big national days. We've talked about KD and Beal's return. And yeah, maybe the Suns aren't a big brand in the NBA right now, but that doesn't mean they don't have any nationally televised games. And that doesn't mean that they might have been screwed by the schedule makers with those back-to-backs. We're going to talk about those, get month to month throughout the season, plus react to Espo's interview with Matt Ishbia on Southwest Bias after our first break. Be like Dylan Brooks and write down this. October 31st through November 2nd. That, of course, is NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway. And here's the kicker about Championship Weekend this year. NASCAR's taking Championship Weekend on the road starting in 2026. So October 31st through November 2nd is your last chance to catch it here in the Valley for a while. But what do you get to see? Well, 4 champions crowned in just 3 days with small ticket upgrades. You can be up close to the garage, meeting the drivers, walking the track, and catching a pre-race concert. But of course, the coup de grace, the main attraction, is cars roaring by almost 200 miles per hour, witnessing 4 champs crowned in 3 days. So don't miss your chance to witness NASCAR Championship Weekend in person, coming to Phoenix Raceway October 31st through November 2nd. Tickets for Sunday's Cup Series Championship race sell out every year, so move fast and get yours now before they're gone. Tickets, hospitality, upgrades, all still available. Get yours now at the link in our show notes. And you know me by now. You know that I love APS, and I tell you it's because I'm lazy and I like to adjust my thermostat. But here's the thing about APS is they don't need to do nice things for you. They want to do nice things for you because most of the time you have to use APS. So they don't have to give you a smart thermostat for as low as $0 when you enroll in the APS Cool Rewards program, or a time of use plan to make sure you're not spending the money. They don't want to be a service. They want to service the community, and that's why they know how important it is for you to save money. And remember, nearly half of your energy costs come from cooling and heating, and a smart thermostat can help you manage those energy bills. Automatically adjust your thermostat from any device that you have during your APS time of use plan or without it, and make sure that you save some money. And you might be eligible for smart thermostats for as low as $0 when you enroll in the APS Cool Rewards program. If you already have a smart thermostat at home, see if it's eligible to enroll in Cool Rewards, plus free installs available at the link in our our video description. Must be an APS customer. Pay shipping and taxes. Other restrictions apply. Visit marketplace.aps.com for more information. Shout out everybody hanging out with us in the chat for a whole schedule breakdown. Are they?
Can we because Meatloaf has a good suggestion. Let's call back-to-backs cheeks to cheeks. I think we just need to call it cheeks, right? Because you have one cheek and the other cheek and they're back to back. Baby got back. Cheeks.
Keep going. You're saving it.
Cheeks.
One more? You got one more on you?
Cheeks.
There we go.
Clip it.
Oh,
it is the full off season. If you couldn't tell,
the last 3 weeks have been for sure. We are here, folks.
And so are the psychos and sickos. Like button, subscribe button, 5-star reviews. They're all free. Let's take a look at all of the Suns' nationally televised games for the season. November 8th against the Clippers on ESPN. November 18th against the Blazers on NBC. November 24th against the Rockets at home. That's on Peacock. December 1st at the Lakers on Peacock. February 3rd at the Blazers on NBC. March 3rd at the Kings on NBC. March 16th at the Celtics on Peacock. March 24th versus the Nuggets on NBC. And April 7th, hey, it's my birthday, versus the Rockets on NBC. They did that on purpose. They know what they're doing. Before we get into this specifically, how do we feel about all the different streaming services and how many you're going to have to watch the NBA this year?
I mean, I'm lucky because I have all of those, but I do understand for NBA fans that don't want to pay for a whole subscription service just to watch the occasional Monday, Tuesday game on Peacock or whatever. And if you look at the graphic for the schedule of how it's divvied up, it's confusing as hell. I'm going to need a weekly chart to figure out what game it's on. I mean, most people just, look at your phone and see the little letters next to it. So it's not that hard, but it is going to be different as opposed to you knew Thursdays. It's on TNT, and now it's very different. So you got NBC.
What is NBC?
Oh no,
you know what NBC is,
Kaylee? You're making us feel real old with that question. It's the company that was there before Peacock, basically. But yeah, and also how many people have Peacock? I do.
A lot more are going to.
But yeah.
I mean, I'm excited, Stephen, to get some of these new voices in here and some of the Blake Griffins and Tracy McGrady's and whatnot. But it is getting inherently more difficult to be a basketball fan. Money.
Gotta have it. Subscriptions, rack them up. I love spreading the wealth as far as the opportunities for different types of coverage to break up the mundaneness of, okay, you have a 1 in 4 chance of knowing who's going to be, or 3 in 4 chance of who's going to be, broadcasting for each game. Being able to break that up is cool, but how accessible is it to everybody? People still can't get League Pass in the city that they live in, or the state that they live in. Sometimes sometimes we can't even see Clippers games from here on League Pass because
is such a trash product.
It's it's
figure it out.
So that's my whole thing, bro. Figure it out. Streamline something that makes sense. Stop making people spend extra money on top of League Pass and they can't even watch the games for their home team in the same market. Make all of this make sense, please.
Do we know if the Suns are still doing their deal, the over TV,
the Suns.com or the Suns Live or whatever it was called? I would assume so. I haven't heard otherwise that they're not doing that, which helps locally.
I don't see why that would be a 1-year thing. I can't imagine that would be very popular. Hey, let's do this and then take it away. Okay, so I think it's fair. I think 16 nationally televised games over the season is actually maybe a little bit of a higher number. 9, sorry, not 16. 16 back-to-backs. Yeah. Way worse. 9 nationally televised games spread out over the season for a team that we think is on the play-in bubble. That seems fair. I don't have any qualms with that.
Nah.
And you get why they picked the games that they picked.
Yeah, it's a bummer they don't have any on Amazon Prime. I would have liked to watch. I mean, we're going to be watching other teams anyway on Prime just to see all the different coverage teams and how they cover the league, because we can all agree that some of the stuff from ESPN and TNT over the years has been pretty lacking in terms of educating fans the way that NFL broadcasts do, and we've talked about that a lot. But it's kind of a bummer that, it's, 5 NBC, 3 Peacock, and only 1 ESPN, no Amazon. That's a little bit of a bummer, but kind of expected with the team being what it is.
They didn't want us.
The way to navigate it, win the NBA Cup, and or go to the playoffs.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Simple.
Easy money.
Simple.
And that's why. I mean, the cup, and the money, all that. You want to be broadcasted on Prime. # no free ads. How do we feel about 16 back-to-backs? Fair? Not fair? What the hell?
It's unfortunate. They are a younger team, so hopefully that helps in that regard. But it is weird if you look at the schedule, only 5 of them are in 2025. 11 of those 16 come after the calendar flips, and there's a lot in like March and February. So that's going to be kind of tough to navigate. It does get them some time to get their bearings a little bit before they're just thrown into a bunch of back-to-backs. That's the advantage, but things really crank up once the calendar flips to 2026.
That's about what was expected. I can't remember what the number was that they had last season, but
Same. 16.
Yeah, it's 16.
yeah. So there you go.
But I do think there's a lot less fear with it, I guess, this year, because last year you're like, okay, we got Bradley Beal, we have Kevin Durant, we have like the oldest roster in the league and the highest payroll, and oh man, then and all those back-to-backs, a lot of them came in this stretch where they were going to be competing for playoff seeding and positioning. Like I will say, and we'll go through the first month here in a second, but like 3 games in 4 nights to start the season and back-to-back on the road in LA and then in Denver and then on the road in Utah after that. I mean, come on.
That's not fun.
What are we doing?
Great. And I feel like they've done that to the Suns the last 2
They've done the
years
LA
or so.
stuff too.
Right.
They
The
keep on
LA
playing
and
in LA.
Portland. And yeah, it's weird. And this, the Nuggets road game is their season opener too. So that's kind of setting you up for failure there. I'm not too concerned about the number of back-to-backs except for when it comes to Mark Williams. We're talking about keeping him healthy, managing his workload and hopefully getting more than, 44 games, which is his career high. That number of back-to-backs is going to be a little tricky to navigate. And hopefully he's just healthy and we're talking about this for nothing. But
I hope so. I really do hope so.
That's what Charlotte's been saying the last like 3-4 years.
Yes.
So.
Fingers crossed.
It's okay. We'll just get another person from the Hornets organization, and that'll make everything better.
Okay. At least the Suns aren't Charlotte, but then you look around and you see a lot of
kinda
familiar pieces.
Hey, training staff, come on down. Okay.
Different but similar.
We're going to go month through month. We're going to look through everything here, but we are going to do it after our second break. Who here has a checking account?
I do.
Show of hands. Yeah, everybody has a checking account. Thank you for your enthusiasm, Gerald, because you want to make sure that you have a checking account with built-in benefits. Steven will work on the enthusiasm. Mountain America's My Style checking account has perks, and they're just for you. Just for you. How special. You're so special. They're just for you. Listen, things like restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, offers on travel and events, and so much more. It's quite simple to make My Style your lifestyle with My Style checking account over a Mountain America credit union. If you're gonna spend your money, why not have some of your money work for you, and you ain't even gotta do anything to get it at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. Insured by NCUA. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration and activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions, Steven, they apply. Also, we're going to have to apply ourselves to building a new studio and, getting comfortable in our new place. And luckily, we're going to be helped out by 2 men and a truck moving here in Phoenix. And it'll be nice that we are not responsible to lift this heavy desk or all of those chairs out there or the entirety of Studio A. We can just say, you know what? 2 men in a truck, they got it. And moving is not just literally moving places. It's a fresh start. It's excitement, new beginnings, big things to come, and a new space to call home. And luckily, our home is going to be so much easier to settle into, thankfully, because of 2 men and a truck. For your next move, whether it's residential, whether it's business, visit 2menscottsdale.com. 2 men and a truck, the movers who care. Andy says, I'm interested in how the office will look at the new place. You'll never believe it. It looks like an office. It'll be cool. We'll decorate it down.
It'll look pretty cool.
Hey, Elko82 in the chat says just became a diehard member.
Hey.
Love that. Thank you, Elko.
All right, we definitely got to get a little animation for
Yeah.
people that announce their Die
New
Hard
Die Hard,
memberships live.
like
Yeah.
fireworks.
I think that'd be cool, even if it's just confetti or some balloons or whatever.
Yeah.
Does
be
it still
cool.
work if you throw up the peace sign? Logo?
No, I like the thumbs up. Like when
Yeah,
we're
when
broadcasting
people
from
get
home
thumbs
tomorrow,
up.
maybe the thumbs up
Yeah,
will
for
work.
sure.
Thank you, Elko. Make sure you jump in the
Appreciate
Die
you.
Hard Discord.
We've enjoyed you being involved in conversations the last probably month now?
Yeah. Oh,
3
I
weeks
think a
to a
little.
month
I think
at least?
longer than that. I think they've
Yeah.
been around.
For sure.
But join the Die Hard Discord
Mhm.
and say what's up. It's the best place to talk about Suns basketball. Lots of fun stuff. We'll get to reacting from Espo's interview with Matt Ishbia here in a second, but let's go month by month, the moment you've all been waiting for, breaking down every game of this Suns schedule. We told you when opening night was, that is October 22nd against Sacramento at home. And then they have an off day on the 23rd. On the 24th, it's the Clippers on the road, and then Denver on the road the day after that. A day off, then Utah on the road, a day off, then Memphis at home, a day off, then Utah on the road. So at most, they have a day off in the month of October and a back-to-back 3 games and 4 nights to start the season. 6 games, Steven. What's their record through 6?
I think it's going to be close to what they ultimately finish the season
6-0.
5-1.
with. Asking me a question and answer
Sorry.
as soon as I start talking.
The Eric Ruby special.
I think they go 3-3.
Mm-hmm.
I think they get a win against the Kings on opening night.
Yep.
I think they beat Utah twice.
Yep, that's where I'm at to start the season. And Utah, that is that first NBA Cup game on the 31st, the second Utah game. So I'm gonna go 3-3 as well.
No, I'm switching it.
Oh, are you?
We're going 4-2.
Oh, okay.
That's what I like to hear.
Okay.
Of course.
I talked you into it.
Jaren Jackson Jr. is probably not going to be playing to start the season for the Memphis Grizzlies. In addition to all of the other changes that they have going on and the new head coach, I think the Suns might be able to go and get that one against the Grizzlies as well. So I'm gonna go 4-2.
I think 4-2, but I think they're going to lose one of those games to the Jazz, and they're probably going to be 3-1 or 4-1 and lose that game to the Jazz. And people are going to be like, "What the hell? Why did you lose to the Jazz?" But I think they beat Denver just because I want them to.
Okay, so you're going 4-2.
I'm going 4-2.
Okay. I'm keeping track of. I'm keeping track of these.
That's right.
Lost to Memphis, lost to Utah.
4-2. You start the Jordan the Jordan I Coach of the Year campaign.
Jordan Math, new nickname.
Optimism will be through the roof if they start this
Yeah.
season 4-2.
I know it.
Yeah,
I know it.
we'll see.
Which I'm not mad about.
No,
I just think if I'm talking about they're going to potentially sneak into the play-in and potentially make the playoffs through it,
Yeah.
a hot start is going to be what needs to springboard them through the rest of the season. So
yeah,
stay in the line with that initial thought process. 4-2 is what they should be aiming for at least.
yeah. All right, let's take a look at November. Obviously, a lot more flushed out than October. Starting November 2nd, taking on the Spurs at home. Then on the 4th, Golden State on the road. On the 6th, the Clippers at home. On the 8th, the Clippers on the road. Then the 10th, the Pelicans at home. The 12th, Dallas on the road. And then a back-to-back Indiana at home after Dallas at home on the road on the 13th. Then on the 16th, 2 days off. The first 2-day break for the Suns. Friday the 14th and Saturday the 15th. Then they play Atlanta at home on the 16th, a day off before taking on Portland on the road. That is a nationally televised game at 9 p.m. at night. Get ready to learn midnight broadcast, pals. 2 days off before they take on Minnesota at home, and then a day off before a back-to-back at home against San Antonio and then Houston. The 24th, of course, being Kevin Durant's return to Phoenix, nationally televised on Peacock, a day off, and then Sacramento on the road, a day off, then OKC on the road. I believe those are both NBA Cup games. And then to end the month, Saturday, November 29th, Denver at home. So a good mix of teams and on the road and at home. How many total games is that?
15.
15 games. What do we think they go in those 15 games, Gerald?
Hopefully better than the record that I'm about to project for them, because they do have a
Raggy.
good number of home games in that month, and you got to capitalize on those. I got them at 6-9 in this stretch. They do have a pretty high quality of opponents. I think you got to capitalize on New Orleans. I think they steal one of the Clippers games because they've been good against the Clippers. I think maybe they take a Portland game. Maybe they take one of the Spurs games as well. Sacramento, I think I have them beating Sacramento on the season opener, so I think that might flip in the follow-up just because the Kings and Suns have had weird games like that over the last couple of years. And I think they surprised somebody in that bunch. But honestly, that's a pretty tough slate for a team that's going to have a lot of fresh faces, going to be trying to figure out their identity through all of that. So I'm going to go 6-9.
Eric?
5 wins.
Oof. That's where I'm at too.
Yeah, they're going to beat the Pelicans. They're going to beat the Pacers. They're going to beat Sacramento again. Mm-hmm. They're going to beat Houston in Kevin Durant's return. Mm-hmm. And then...
on the second night of a cheek?
Yep. On the second night of a cheek.
Second night of cheeks?
Yeah. On the second cheek.
Second night of a cheek.
And then I think they take one from the Spurs. I don't know which one. They're both at home.
That helps.
Yeah, so I'll take 1 win over the Spurs, a win over the Pacers, a win over the Pelicans, a win over the Kings, and a win against the Rockets on the 24th.
Okay.
5 wins.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm at about the same. I got them at 5-10 in the month of November. I hope they do better than that, especially stemming from a 4-2 start potentially, but this speaks to the ebbs and flows of the season that we're likely going to see as the games kind of pick up frequency and the level of competition kind of rises as well.
So far through the first 2 months of the season, our records are all identical for the Suns at 9-12.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
that's exactly what I'm looking at.
Cool. I think this is a team that will get better throughout the season. I think they'll have a hot start, and they're gonna have some stuff they need to figure out. Ott's gonna need to figure out some rotations. This is and that's the thing. This is a tough schedule too, right? Like all the games that I have them winning are the ones against like non-certified playoff teams, right? Like we put Golden State in playoff lock, Clippers and contenders. Like Dallas is a wild card, but I mean, Cooper Flag might just be him. Atlanta's going to be a good team. Portland is going to be a fun team and a really good defense. Minnesota, OKC, Denver, Houston. Like, there's a lot. Plus, there's 4 cheeks in this month. 2 back-to-backs. It's a lot of cheeks.
Yeah.
All right. What about December? Obviously, we don't have the full picture of December quite yet because there's going to be NBA Cup games. And even if the Suns don't make the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup, they will still have at least 2 games scheduled in that week because they need to make those up. So a lot of road games in this month, only 2 home games. So starting on the road December 1st against the Lakers, that's a nationally televised game. Then you have 3 days off. Your first 3-day break of the season, which is pretty crazy. You play Friday on the road against Houston. Then you have 2 days off before playing on the road against Minnesota. The rest of that week, the 9th through the 16th, so a whole week, is the NBA Cup. So there are going to be some regular season games in there, but we don't know those yet. Got to imagine some of those are going to be home games for the Suns, given how many road games are in this month. Golden State then is the first game on the schedule at home of the season on December on the 18th. And then you have another game against Golden State 2 days later on the road. 2 days off on the 23rd. You take on the Lakers on Christmas Eve at home for that one. And then another 2 days off. Then a back-to-back on the road against the Pelicans, both games against the Pelicans. And then a day off, take on the Washington Wizards on the 29th, a day off, and then Cleveland on the 31st.
So, man, going 18 days in a month before your first home game is kind of wild.
Well, as of right now.
They will have, I take that back, because they will have 1 home game and 1 road game. We're assuming they don't make the NBA Cup here. I think that's kind of our assumption. So they'll have 1 home game and 1 road game of the 2 regular season games that are rescheduled among the teams that don't make it. So this is tough. I think... So I have, of the scheduled games, I have them going 4-6. Do we want to add into imaginary games?
No, we can't. How can we predict imaginary games?
So we'll just keep it at our 80 game prediction because they will have 2 games that they have to reschedule one way or another. So I'm going to go 4-6. I think they take care of business against the Pelicans, even on a road back-to-back. I think they've got the Wizards. And then I think, they've got no, they don't have Sacramento next month. Ooh, man, if it's 4-6 a little optimistic, it might be.
I mean, that's a lot of road games. You got Lakers, Rockets, Timberwolves, back-to-back, not back-to-back, but back-to-back games, Warriors, Lakers again, and then you have a nice little easier stretch for 3 games, a back-to-back against New Orleans, but on the road and still playing back-to-back right around Christmas and right after Christmas, actually. And then a day off, you play Washington on the road, and then it's a day game against the Cavs on Wednesday. So you only have 3 games against teams
Bad
that are
teams.
predicted to be under 500.
And one of them's a back-to-back.
Yeah.
I see a 4-game win streak in here.
Do you?
Lakers,
At the very
Pelicans,
end of the
Wizards.
very end of the month. Jordan Knott is out for absolute.
Against the Cavs.
Oh, I like it. Like where your head's
And
at.
who's gonna have a better scouting report and game plan for that team in particular?
That's true.
It didn't change too much from when he left. He's well aware of the way things go there. Not saying it's guaranteed, but they could potentially go on a 4-game win streak, and that might be the only 4 wins of the month.
I hope you're right. I think they get smacked in that game again, honestly. But I do think maybe one of those Golden State games is a game where Jimmy Butler misses,
Or
and
Steph might
they
be
got
out.
2 Lakers games while the Lakers are still trying to get their bearings too. So I got them taking. I'll stick with 4 and 6.
I'm going to have them losing to Houston,
Okay.
losing to Minnesota,
Mhm.
losing to Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to lose one of those games against Golden State. They'll win the other one. So I have them 6 and 4 for this. I think they
6 and 4.
I think they beat Houston again.
Dude, I could have given you 1, but 2 is you're crazy.
I think they beat Houston again.
You crazy?
I think they beat Golden State once. I think they beat the Lakers once. And I think that they beat the Pelicans and beat the Wizards. And then I'll take the Cleveland win too. I believe.
Steven,
Hashtag
what
we
was your?
believe.
I wish we had KD's actual voice telling you to cut it. Because all we gotta
We need
do
to
is
put
cue
that
it
on a
up.
t-shirt.
Ayrton, you press one of them beautiful buttons over there.
Mm-hmm. Just dictate.
You hate me until I'm. You hate me till I'm right. You hate me till I'm right.
Steven, what was your record projection at for the month?
I'm still going 4 and 6.
Okay,
If
so
they don't beat
the
Cleveland,
4,
yeah. If they don't beat Cleveland, I think they could take one against the Lakers.
Okay,
Fine,
so
we'll do 5 and 5. They'll lose to Houston. I'll go to 5 and 5.
Through the end of 2025, Steven and I have the Suns at 16 and 18, and Eric, you have them at
Change me to 5 and 5 for this
15
month.
and 16. I think.
5 and 5 for this month.
5 and 5.
Yeah, well, I'll give Houston the win.
Okay, so
For now.
you're at 14 and was that 17 for 2025?
There we go.
Okay, all right.
All right, let's move on to January. Jam-packed month in January, starting on the 2nd at home against Sacramento, then the 4th at home against OKC, back-to-back on the road against Houston on the 5th, a day off, and then at Memphis on the 7th, day off, then at home against New York on the 9th, then at home against Washington on the 11th, on the road against Miami on the 13th, on the road against Detroit on the 15th, on the road against New York on the 17th, and then on the road against Brooklyn, and then Philly and back-to-back on the 19th and 20th. 2 days off before then taking on Atlanta on the road. So that is 6 straight road games in the middle of January. They usually have a similar stretch like that every year. Then on the final week of the month, at home against Miami on the 25th, at home against Brooklyn on the 27th, and then a back-to-back at home against Detroit and Cleveland on the 29th and the 30th. Man, there are a lot of good teams in the NBA.
There really are.
Man.
And this is, so just for some background data here, this is one of 2 months that the Suns have, January and March, where they play 16 games in 31 days. During this month of January, 8 are on the road, 8 are at home. This does feature one of 2 6-game road trips that the Suns have this season, which is their longest road trip of the year. At the tail end of the month, those last 4 home games are the start of a 6-game homestand, which is their longest homestand. Or I'm sorry, a 5-game homestand, which is their longest of the season. So this is kind of all over the place in terms of a lot of different road trips and homestands and whatnot. I have them going 7 and 9 over this stretch. I think that's optimistic.
Yes.
But I also think like some of the opponents they have are potential, like the Wizards, you should win that one. Heat, I think you can win that one. Nets on the road. Sixers, who knows if they'll be healthy by then. Heat again. Nets again. Like there are some winnable games in that stretch. Kings to start the month. And I think they steal one maybe unexpected game, and then the rest are going to be kind of rough. But I got 6 and 9 or 7 and 9.
What do you think, Steven?
5, 6, 7, 16 games.
Mm-hmm.
8 and 8.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Book likes playing in New York.
He does.
He also loves playing in Detroit.
He also
Yes,
does.
he does.
That's one of the games
2
I got
Detroit
them getting in there.
games, 2 Knicks games, 2 Heat games, 2 Nets games.
Yeah.
I got them beating Sacramento to start the month, Memphis, the Wizards,
Mm-hmm.
Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn, Philly,
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn again, and one of those Detroit games.
Okay. So I do think playing the same team as the worst team twice in a month can kind of help you a little bit because it is hard to beat any team, 2-3 times in the same month sometimes. So
that back-to-back Sunday, Monday, OKC, Houston.
Yeah, that's insane.
yeah, that's tough.
Insane.
Come on.
That's tough. The Detroit Cleveland back-to-back at the end of the month is.
Yeah. Give me 8-8 as well. I'll take 8.
Okay.
I'll take 8.
I thought I was being optimistic. I like where you guys are at.
I feel like they pick up their play as the schedule goes on. As the games keep coming, but they get a little bit more continuity. Ott starts to stamp his finger on things. They start to establish the identity in December going into January. I feel like they might be able to squeeze out a 500 month in January.
Who'sman with a super chat, $5 says, in your opinion, what would be the exceeds, meets, or below expectations be of Suns players this year? Points, rebounds, time played. Wow. That is a big question.
It is. That's a show.
Who'sman, can we bank that? Because we got a lot to get into today. We really appreciate your super chat. That is an entire show. Let's screenshot Who'sman super chat. And thank you so much for asking that, Who'sman. That is a lot more than what we can get into right now. We still have 3 months to get into February, March, April, and some sound bites from Matt Ishbia. And apparently we'll do an extra hour on Who'sman's question. And we'll do it all right after our final break. Guy like me, well, I love shade. Whether I'm throwing it when predicting the Suns to beat the Rockets or sitting in it under an outdoor patio, because All Pro Shade Concepts is the best place to extend your outdoor living space with a custom fit awning. Hundreds of designs and colors to choose from to match any home. They can work with your HOA for approvals or motorize and retract with a remote control. And you can add LED lighting to light up your patio under the awning. But the most important part is that they're effective. Roll down patio shades, block the sun, good for me, and keep the patio up to 20 degrees cooler. Plus, in the winter, it actually keeps warm air in and cool air out, thus extending your outdoor living space all year. Plus, you can trust them. Number 1 by ranking Arizona for patio shades in 2024. A+, Better Business Bureau rating, over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google. In business for 20 years in the Valley, call 623-204-1476. That's 623-204-1476, or visit allproshadeconcepts.com right now to schedule your free estimate. And hopefully I'll see you on Saturday when the stars are out at Gila River Resorts and Casinos Wild Horse Pass for the Straight Game Podcast live with Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, that's the whole ad read. Why not show up? I mean, I'll be there. So if you want to bully me in person, like these two get to do every day, that is your chance. Get ready for an unforgettable night as NBA legends Mike Bibby, Eddie House, Coach Ty Ellis bring the Straight Game Podcast to the stage for a live special recording featuring none other than basketball icon and business mogul Shaquille O'Neal. And you know when there's a live mic in front of Shaq, he's gonna say something. So don't miss this rare opportunity to witness greatness live, unscripted, and straight from the source. Tickets are at retail pricing when purchased online or by phone. However, discounts are available at the box office only. Get yours now, and I'll see you Saturday. Brent in the chat says, I grew up on the 7 seconds or less Suns. Eric has to grow up with Jalen Green and Isaiah Livers. Heartbreak.
Oh, we did get a question from Leo. When are you guys going to release your watch party schedules? Give it some time. We just got the Sun schedule, so we got to figure it out. We got to talk with our partners, but appreciate your enthusiasm. We will definitely let everybody here in the chat know when we're having watch parties, so that if you are here in Phoenix, you can come and hang out with us and enjoy a Suns game and watch it with us.
We're going to have some fun events this year. Just because the Suns might be a 500-ish basketball team doesn't mean that we can't have 50-win fun here on PHNX Suns. All right, let's
35 games left in the schedule the rest of the way.
So at this point, through January, I've got them at 20 and 27. Steven, you've got them at 21 and 26. And Eric, you've got them at 22 and 25.
All right.
So that's where we're at. 47 games in. These records won't actually hold because there's going to be 2 more games added to this that we're not projecting for right now.
I, for one, am shocked that I have the best record.
I had them getting 240. as my maybe potential ceiling for them on the optimistic side. I can speak English, I swear. So I need them to get 19 more wins over these next 3 months, and they got 19 out of 35 games.
I think that's doable.
Just trying to throw some context to
how you get to
looking at it,
from A to B.
Yeah,
makes sense.
If it makes sense, I'm not gonna force it, but if it makes sense,
yeah.
Well, December was the road game month. Welcome to the home game month. It's February, of course, the shortest one. The Clippers at home February 1st, then Portland on the road on the 3rd, Golden State at home on the 5th, Philly at home on the 7th, a back-to-back after 2 days off at home against Dallas and OKC on the 10th and the 11th, and then no games on the 12th, All-Star Weekend, 13th, 14th, 15th, and then 3 days off after that. So the next game is 8 days later on the road in Austin, Texas, against the San Antonio Spurs, and then back at home for the rest of the month against Orlando on the 21st, Portland on the 22nd, Boston on the 24th, and the Lakers on the 26th. Lots of home games, but still some good teams. Gerald, what do you have them going in February?
So mine is probably going to come in less optimistic than you guys, but I've got them at 5-6 here. Okay. And I think it's because, like, if they are going to make a play-in push, if they are going to reach, 40, 41 wins, whatever it is that we're hoping is on the optimistic side, it has to get done in February, because this is your most amount of home games that you have. You only have 2 back-to-backs over that stretch, but the quality of opponents is tough. I've got them beating the Blazers. I've got them beating the Mavs. I've got them beating
Philly.
I got them beating the Blazers twice. That's a little iffy. I do have them beating Boston. I do have them beating Philly, but I'm going to go 5-6 there. And that might be the make or break point for me for their kind of play in hopes that month.
I got to win against the Clippers because I haven't had them winning any of those games yet.
Okay.
I got them beating Portland. I got them beating Philly.
Okay. Then it starts to get dicey.
Yeah. I think they can take Boston because they'll be at home for it. I don't think I've had them beat the Lakers yet.
Okay.
So I think they get to 5.
Okay. So
remember,
got them at 5-6.
This is also when the trade deadline is.
Yes.
As
Also
well.
relevant.
So the Suns might look different, and some of these other teams might look different. Is Boston selling off pieces and trying to tank for the rest of the season? How do the Spurs look? Do they maybe try to move a De'Aaron Fox if they're not looking as good this year? Philly, what does Philly do right around the trade deadline with Joel Embiid, and if he's healthy? Dallas, who's kind of teetering on the edge of, are you going to be a playoff guy, a playoff team, a play-in team? Obviously, OKC is OKC. Is Portland going to be buyers near the deadline and trying to acquire some talent? What about Golden State and their geriatric home over there? Like, there's a lot that could change around this month. That being said, 4 wins.
Oh, no. Okay,
yeah.
So 4.
I think they beat Philly, and I think they beat one of Portland. I think they... Jeez. Oh, man. Yeah, okay, give me a Boston win and a Lakers win.
Okay.
Give me those 4.
Okay.
God. Rough.
You don't feel good about those.
No, but here's the thing. Once we get to the season, they're winning all these games.
Right.
All right.
82-0.
Let's move to March here. Another busy month in March. Surprise, surprise. On the road, Tuesday the 3rd against Sacramento. That's a nationally televised game. Then back-to-back at home, the 5th and the 6th against Chicago and New Orleans. Always feels like those games are like similar, and Devin Booker likes to torch both of them. At home on the 8th against Charlotte. On the road, starting a 6-game road trip. On the 10th against Milwaukee. Then a back-to-back on the road, the 12th and the 13th against Indiana and Toronto. 2 days off before a back-to-back on the road against Boston and Minnesota. Yeah. And then a day off on the road against San Antonio. Then you're back at home for a 4-game homestand starting on the 21st against Milwaukee, and a back-to-back then against Toronto on the 22nd. And then a day off at home, a nationally televised game against Denver on the 24th. 3 days off before being at home against Utah, a day off, and then a back-to-back on the road, Memphis and then Orlando. Call that the Desmond Bain weekend, or week, because it's Monday and Tuesday. Gerald, is March kind to our sweet Suns?
No, and I think my record's a little bit optimistic, to be honest with you, because, again, this is another 16 games in 31 days month. 7 of them are at home, 9 on the road. You have your other 6-game road trip just nestled in there. I've got them going 7-9 in March. I do think that Oh man, it's tough because a lot of those back-to-backs that they have are like bad teams that you think they would probably beat on a normal night, but because of the back-to-back addition to that, it's kind of a toss-up. But I think they beat Sacramento, Chicago, New Orleans, Charlotte to start, and they go 4-0. That's a great start to the month, and then it gets really brutal. I think you pick up one of those other Toronto games, and then you get that Jazz game, and that's how. And then maybe one other, and that's how you get my 7. But I got 7 and 9, and that's probably optimistic.
I'm going 8-8 for this month.
Okay. Yeah, buddy.
I think they lose to Sacramento. I think they beat the Bulls and the Pelicans on that back-to-back.
Mm-hmm.
I think they beat Charlotte because Steve Clifford will not allow for it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think they go and get Milwaukee, honestly.
Okay.
I think they can go and get Milwaukee in this one.
Yeah.
I think they take both games against Toronto. So that's what, 1, 2, 4, 5. At 5 total wins right now.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana?
5. Make it 6 because I said both of the Toronto games.
Mm-hmm. Did you get Utah already?
Nah, not yet. So that's 7. And then I think they can go beat Memphis again at the end of the month.
Okay.
I like 8 and 8. Remember, now March is when hoops becomes a little bit less serious for some of these teams, and
it gets weird.
And maybe the Suns are the team that benefits from like a Trailblazers like push at the end of the season, or 2 seasons ago, how the Rockets made a push at the end of the season and kind of got their stuff together. Is this the first over 500 month of the season? I'm gonna say yes. 9 and 7.
Oh, we go 9 and 7.
9 and 7.
All right.
Oh, I can't. That's the lowest over 500 that I can do.
I thought you said 8 and 8. That's why I was confused.
No, he said 8 and 8.
Okay.
I got 2 8 and 8 months. January and March.
Give me a win over either Boston or Minnesota on that back to back. I think you sneak and take one of them. I think Boston might look terrible by this part of the year. I think they might shut Jaylen Brown down. They might have traded Derek White and Simons off the team. I don't think that they're going to be like this team that the Suns can't get a win over. Give me the first over 500 month because March basketball isn't real. Okay, let's end the season in April. Okay, people are saying, guys, come on, like 9 and 7 in 1 month when I've had them multiple games under 500 for every other month is not like I'm saying they're the best team in the NBA. At this point,
you still have them 4 games under 500.
Yeah, 35 and 39. Oh, the Homer Eric. Calm down. Okay, April. Charlotte on the road on the 2nd, and then Chicago on the road on the 5th, and then a back-to-back at home against Houston and Dallas on the 7th and 8th. Friday on the road against LA, and then you end the season against OKC on the road. Could be a trap game. OKC might not play their guys that game, depending on where they stand. That is 6 games to end the season. How do we feel?
I feel like Charlotte, you can win. Chicago, you can win. Those teams will probably be tanking by then. The Suns could be in that same boat, honestly. But I think Houston is a loss. I think the Lakers will probably still be battling for positioning. That's a loss. So I think if you can get one of Dallas on the second night of back-to-back, hoping that they're bad or have shut guys down or out of the play-in hunt, or you just beat them, or OKC, like you said, Eric, last game of the season, they could have wrapped up the 1 seed a week or 2 ago. So I'm going to go 3 and 3. I think one of those you lose, one of those you pick up. I'll go 3 and 3 to close out the year.
Steven?
I think we're coming up short of 40 over here.
I think so.
I'm at 35 wins right now. There's 6 games this month.
You're at 34 wins.
I'm at 34.
So you got to go undefeated.
Oh, okay. But then, looks like we're coming up short. I think they beat Charlotte. I think they beat the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
I think they maybe get the Lakers game if they're in good contention as far as not needing to have that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Thunder game to end the season, they won't even send their players for that game. So they'll probably come out to
Devin Booker's in Cancun by that
Before I give you my prediction, if you're watching on TV, the party always continues over at gophnx.com, which means it's time for overtime here on PHNX Suns. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, 5-star reviews all around. Thank you for doing that. So definitely beating Houston. That's 1 win. Beating Charlotte and Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
This guy.
Wait, sorry, Steven. What did you have for the month? 4 and 2?
I had Charlotte, the Bulls. Yeah. You can go 4-2.
4-2.
So
Okay.
39 wins total for me.
38
wins,
Yeah.
excuse me. 38 wins total for me.
What am I at?
You are at 35 and 39 right now.
So definitely beating Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kidding. They're gonna lose
You're
that
a
game.
natural walking gasoline tank.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think gasoline is more tan than me, but thanks. Translucent. Okay. They're going to beat Charlotte. They're going to beat Chicago. I think they're going to beat OKC. That's 3. I think they beat one of Houston or Dallas on not some troll stuff. I think those are teams that maybe Dallas is still having something to play for. You know what? Maybe that Dallas Suns game determines like who the 10th or 9th seed in the West is. But give me 3 and 3.
3 and 3?
Give me 4 and 2.
4 and 2.
I don't care.
That's what I thought. Okay. So
It's August.
all right. So final tallies for the season based on my rudimentary math here. We've got Gerald, the least optimistic, at 35 and 45. We've got Steven in the middle at 38 and 42, just shy of his projected 40 win total. And then we've got Eric, the most optimistic, at 39 and 41. Now, we should bear in mind, again, this does not include 2 games that will have to be rescheduled in December for the NBA Cup. Whether they make the NBA Cup or whether they don't, they'll still have 2 more games to add on to this.
I think they lose those 2 games. They made 39 and 43.
I'll say they go 1-1 in those, so I'm going to say 36 and 46.
Against imaginary opponents.
Yep. Well, because
Yeah,
I'm assuming they don't make the NBA Cup, so those are the less good teams usually. So you probably get 1, and hopefully it's a home game that you get, and then you lose the other one. So I'll go 1-1.
We still getting a 40, baby. Give me both of those.
Let's go.
There we go. Consistency. That's what we strive
So
for
Steven's
here.
the most
So
optimistic.
Steven has now become the most optimistic. Eric is in the middle at 39 wins. Steven's got 40. I am at 36.
Me rational in the middle ground as always. The over-under for the Suns is 30.5 wins. So even our least optimistic pessimist over here, Gerald, believes that they pretty easily surpass that. But I
don't know
mean,
about
you are
easily.
actually, you're not super optimistic about everything.
I'm not.
So
I feel like I was overly optimistic in a couple of months. So they're going to have to scratch and claw to get to these win totals that we're projecting. It is not going to be easy.
I hope that's the learning part of today's episode, is that rather than just speaking kind of arbitrarily, you have some context to provide sequencing of games, home, back-to-backs, all of that fun stuff involved and included. Thought exercise-wise, not easy to get to 35.
no.
We all finished there or above it, but that wasn't. I wouldn't say any of us are like 100% comfortable that that's
Yeah.
gonna come to fruition.
And if they drop some winnable games like we see, I mean, teams do,
Correct.
every team does this, but if they drop some winnable games like we've seen the Suns do in the recent past, you got to make it up somewhere. And as we've covered, once you get to January and March, those game heavy months, those road heavy months, it gets a lot harder to make up those games against good teams.
Sure. And this isn't me saying that they're just going to shock the world and beat up a bunch of teams that they shouldn't. But like the NBA is unpredictable. Bad teams beat good teams every single night. And there are teams that we think are going to be good that either get derailed by injuries or trades or just aren't as good as you think that they would. True. So maybe some of these games that we assume would be tougher, maybe in Minnesota, Rudy Gobert's regression is a really big deal for them and they're not as tough to beat or scheme against, right? Maybe Jordan Ott is one hell of a coach and some of these back-to-backs or some of these toss-up games, the Suns end up shocking a couple teams and pulling out maybe a few more wins. But of course, it could also go the other way as well. Any final thoughts on the NBA schedule for the Suns?
82-0.
For
Yes,
error,
if they got Delano Banton.
82-0.
Here we come.
Margin for error for the Suns is slim.
Yeah.
A hot start is non-negotiable, no matter how realistic or unrealistic you might think it is. For them as a team, non-negotiable. They got to get it going early because the schedule gets tough in November, December, January through the holiday months.
A fast start would help a lot. If we were projecting for 35 to 40 wins, you got to get off to a fast start.
I mean, I had them at a fast start, and I still don't have them reaching 40 wins. That's the thing.
I think the not having a scouting report for this team dynamic is something that they could be taking advantage of early.
Yeah.
If they come out and play with the energy that Jordan is hoping that they come with on the defensive end in particular, spend a little bit more time in transition, Jalen Green running around postering dudes, dunking. That's their best bet.
Yeah.
If January, if November and October are not well, they don't go well, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough.
Yeah. Well, guess what? We'll be here every single game, even if they do suck. Pre-game, post-game shows. Of course, live shows during the week right here on PHNX Suns. Before we get out of here, I wanted to bring you one clip from Espo's conversation with Matt Ishbia. Make sure you go check it out. That whole conversation on the Mercury and the Suns was earlier today. Maybe we'll dive some more into this next week, a little bit deeper. But just as a taste for you guys, here's Matt Ishbia on what alignment and identity looks like it actually means.
You guys have talked a lot about alignment, vision, and identity, but beyond those words, what does that really mean for you, for this franchise, and moving forward? What is alignment, vision, and identity mean to you?
Well, you got to have an identity of what is Suns basketball about, right? What are we going to stand for? What are we going to be on the court? Right? From the way the players treat the fans, walking off the court, high-fiving players or throwing them a wristband, right? From the way the players treat each other. Are we great teammates? Do we do things when our guy's on the ground? Do we pick him up? Like if you watch the Summer League, you can start to see some of the things that we're starting to put in place with the way the bench was interacting, the way the players cared about one another, the way the whole team flew out there to support each other and be there. Like there's certain things that's what the right way. Like people are like, oh, that's the way the Suns are going to do. Like it's just the right way. If you're involved with middle school basketball, high school, college, and like the right way of doing things for the WNBA and the NBA, we're going to do it the right way in Phoenix. And so the identity is going to be around toughness. It's going to be around grit. We're going to play hard. Like our guys are not going to be the last guys diving on the court. We're going to dive for the ball, maybe bloody your chin a little bit. It's okay. And you know what? We're gonna play tough. There's going to be things that, and then the way that you say alignment, people like to joke about the word. The thing is, I can say it, and then BG, Brian Gregory's got to say it, and Jordan Ott's got to say it, but you actually got to see it on the court. So alignment means it can't be just Matt says one thing and they do another thing, like all the way through the organization. And if people don't believe in it, it's fine. It doesn't mean I'm right and they're wrong. It just means they're not going to be on our team. It just means they're not going to be part of our organization. And you've already seen us make those changes. So if they're not bought in, that's cool. They just can go buy in another team. There's 29 other NBA teams.
Ooh, saving that money quote right for the end there. If you're not bought in, there's 29 other teams. They're very serious about establishing this culture. Whether you believe they have the personnel for it or the talent to actually get wins is one thing, but a lot of the guys they brought in do align with what identity and culture they're trying to establish here. So I respect him for that. Slightly, maybe some parting shots for some certain players that are no longer on this team. But we saw the product last year. We saw it wasn't any one player that was part of the problem. It was everybody. So there's going to be a new mentality to how they approach things here. And hopefully the guys that they did bring in are able to live up to that alignment that he's talking about. Because like he said, he and Brian Gregory and Jordan Ott can say all these things, but it's a matter of doing and the players actually living by that every single day.
Take that, Monte Morris. What was your big takeaway from that, Steven?
If we're talking alignment, you talk about having a bunch of blue-collar guys that get after it. That's the way you navigate back ends of back-to-backs, whether it be home road home, or both in either situation. That's the way you trim at the margins and get to that 40 win total right there. Mm-hmm. And for the thought exercise we just did, if you factor that in and it hits the way that he's desiring for it to and the way that they're hoping for it to based off of how they built this roster and obviously brought in a head coach to uphold those principles, I genuinely don't think 40 is out the room. It's just a matter of, it won't be for a lack of effort that they don't get to 40. I think that's the best way to put it.
That's the ultimate X factor with this. And speaking of X factor, they also talked about the Phoenix Mercury earlier today with Matt Ishbia. And if you're not tapped in with the Mercury, you need to be, because they are the best basketball team in the Valley. And of course, Steven spearheading. Yeah, Steven spearheading that Mercury coverage right here on PHNX Sports, and a bunch of other really fun, great stuff. Film breakdowns coming for you later this week. Tomorrow we'll be talking about Kaman Malawach. We'll dive deeper into what Matt Ishbia had to say on Espo's Southwest bias. A trending mini pod came out yesterday on the Suns' secret weapon being that coaching staff and being that new approach and how that might impact these win predictions today. And as always, Gerald is bringing you great coverage over at GoPHNX.com, recently power ranking the 30 teams in the NBA. And of course, we'll have written breakdowns of all the important and key players and pieces for the Suns. As we approach the regular season that we just broke down today, there is no better place to get your Suns coverage than right here. No better place to talk basketball than right here on PHNX Sports. So make sure you become a diehard today. Go phnx.com/join. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I know there are a lot of people who watch every single show and aren't subscribed. I know there are some people that don't even know that they're not subscribed. So take a second and look at that subscribe button and make sure you're subscribed, because maybe you're just getting the feeds, the videos in your feeds because you click on all of them all the time. Make sure you're subbed. Make sure you like it as well. Make sure it's 5-star reviews on audio. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be at home because this is the last time in the studio. We're moving. And then starting next week, brand new studio, brand new start for PHNX Sports and PHNX Suns. But it doesn't matter if y'all aren't there with us. So we'll see you around.
We all silly like the mayor.